Hello everyone, my name is Saf. You're watching Grion Tech TV, and in this video, we'll be discussing upon a basic example of trigger in MySQL. And this is a basic example that I have taken for you to understand how trigger works. So trigger is just like a mechanism to observe a particular table, and on a particular event, you are doing some action. So let's suppose there is a table and there is a data being inserted by some process model or anything. So even like manually also the data can be inserted, and if there is any insert of a record happening in a particular table, so the trigger is observing that table. The moment the insert happens, the trigger will invoke itself and the code will execute. So there are many events which can be uh, used to actually capture the data, and the trigger are useful in that place. And we can use triggers mainly for audit work in Appian applications. So this is the basic format. Delimiters is the starting and an ending. So delimiter is the starting and ending of every trigger code that you see. Create trigger is a keyword, and this is the trigger name. After is the event name. So before and after we have two events. Event timings basically before or after. And event types are insert, update, delete. So before insert, after insert, before update, after update, before delete and after delete. These are the combinations that you can use to create triggers. So we are creating trigger on a particular table because MySQL engine will actually observe this table. So before, after, insert, update, delete. We can put any combination, but we are observing a particular table. So this is the table name VUF cost customers for each row. That means for every row in this VF customers, any insert that is happening, the code will execute. So you can write anything in your code. You can write any insert or any delete or anything that you want to write, any SQL query that you want to execute on the condition of the insert of this particular table. So I have chosen a dummy audit table to showcase that how this table event can affect the data of this table. So let me show you through this example that I have an audit customer table which is empty right now, and I have VOF customers table which is having some sort of data. Now every increment in the row, so if there is any new row that's coming up, there will be another entry in this table with the same data. Now how it is happening? It is happening because of this query. So as you can see, for every insert of VOF customer, after every insert of VOF customers, the begin and end is the demarcation in this query that this is something that you have to run on the particular event for every row. Each row means the number of rows you insert is equal to the number of times this code will execute from begin till end. So this is an insert query where we are inserting the data into audit customers with the respective columns, and the values are referring through new dot annotation. So everywhere you see new means the new data that will be generated in the VOF customers at runtime can be captured through new dot operator or annotation. So we can use new dot and access the column data respectively. So technically it is actually replicating. So whatever new row that is being inserted in VF customers will be exactly inserted in audit customers. So the audit is actually capturing the replica of what is being inserted here. So let me insert some before inserting, let's run the query for trigger first because we have not run the query here. So I'm just copying the code. I'm going back to the Scratch database Appian, and this is my SQL Playground query editor. Here I am just pasting the command and clicking on format. In order to save your time, I have already written the command, else you can have a look on the basic format available on the web. So I hope you understand the code. Let's run it. So the trigger is successfully executed. As you can easily understand that this trigger is on a particular table, so we can open that VOF customer section and open the trigger section and see that now the trigger is in the line ready and waiting for the event to happen. You can also select the trigger and click on edit to understand that whatever we have written in the code is actually configured here. So you can see the trigger name, trigger table, like this is the table on which we are observing the event. The time is after the event is insert, and this is the actual definition of the trigger. Now we can close it because we don't want to disturb it, and let's actually test VOF customers. If you are excited to see, just drop a like and put your comments. How did you like the video? And let's quickly insert it. Tier 55, phone 1234567. Created on, let's leave it. Address ID 88, updated by testing. So the moment I click on go, the expectation is right now it is empty, right? The moment I click on go, it will insert a new record in VOF customers. See, the expectation is the trigger will execute this execute the trigger would have executed the code on the insert of this row. So let's refresh. As you can see, the data is as it is as here in this. Now you might be wondering that can we enter something unique other than this? Yes, you can create your own code and you can write and or manipulate or transform your data for your secondary table. Not even insert, you can do anything that you need. You can update some data on a child table after the event that is being observed in the observing table when the trigger is actually triggering the query. So this is a basic example of trigger. I hope you really liked it, and drop a like, subscribe, and share it to your friends who need it. Thank you so much.